YouTube, how you doing? Murph here, bringing you another product review. Today's review is going to be on the Logitech G Pro Superlight. This is the follow-on model to the Logitech G Pro Wireless, and the overall design is pretty similar. We'll start by going over the design and build quality. This model is 125 millimeters long, or about 4.9 inches, about 63.5 millimeters wide, or about 2.5 inches, and it's 40 millimeters tall, which is about 1.57 inches. And the overall weight comes in at just under 63 grams. So this is quite a bit lighter than the original G Pro Wireless. One cool thing that they did with the design of this mouse is they managed to achieve 63 grams with no cutouts or perforations. The only kind of weight savings cutout that you can see here is in the scroll wheel itself. You can see those 3 pegs in there, and the rest is pretty much hollowed out. Other than that, there's no holes or anything like that on this mouse that we see on most other lightweight mice, like the Glorious Model O has all these hexagonal cutouts on the top and bottom, and this is 69 grams, so this is actually a heavier mouse. Of course, it is a little bit larger as well, but they managed to make this very lightweight without using any kind of cutouts on the mouse itself, which is great engineering on the part of Logitech. For the design, they went with a pretty minimalistic approach. There's no RGB on this mouse, and the branding is pretty simple as well, just the G logo on the back and Superlight on the right-hand side there. This does come in 2 colors, white and black, and overall it's just a real simple, clean design. As far as build quality, the overall build quality is decent. I haven't noticed any kind of creaking or flexing in any of the panels. As far as the switches go, everything is pretty clicky and tactile concerning the right and left mouse buttons. When you get down to the buttons 3 and 4 here on the side, they're not bad. As other people have complained about, there's a little bit of mushiness. Just kind of this soft feeling when you push in here. Not as clicky or tactile as you would like. The scroll wheel here has individual steps that you can feel in there, and it feels pretty good to use. And it's also got a quiet but tactile click in there as well. The skates that come on this model are pretty good. I haven't had any issues on my cloth mouse pad. And in the box here, you actually get right here where you can actually store your USB. You get this extra piece right here, which is just magnetic, which gives you a little bit of an extra skate there. I haven't really noticed a difference with using that. Frankly, you would think it would be a lot more smooth with this on there, but I don't really notice a difference. I've just kept it off. So the overall build quality is decent. I would have liked to see a little bit more of a clicky, tactile feeling side button here. And while the skates are not bad at all, I feel like they could be a little bit better. It's quite a large front plate they have there, so you would think it would be a little bit more smooth, but again, it's not bad. Now they do use their Hero sensor in here, which raises the upper limit of their DPI range from 16,000 to over 25,000 DPI. And this is marketed as having the world's first sub-micron level mouse sensor, which basically just means it's able to track the movement at a sub-micron level, which 1 micron is basically 1/1,000,000th of a meter. So on paper, this should have really good tracking, and it does. I'm not sure how much of a real world difference it makes. I haven't noticed anything like spectacular when using this mouse over other wireless mice with their typically PixArt or variations of PixArt sensors. I haven't really noticed a real scenario where I notice that much of a difference, but it is cool that they are able to track at that level. In the box, it does come with quite a long cable here. It does have that kind of prong shape at the end so that you can connect it, and it keeps it firmly in place while you're using it if you do use it in wired mode or while you're charging it. The one disappointing thing about this mouse is the fact that they are sticking with micro USB over USB-C, especially since this is a brand new mouse that's only been out about a month or so. In 2021, you would think that they would use USB-C, kind of keep up with the industry standard, and that is kind of disappointing to see that they didn't go with USB-C there. Now this does use their Lightspeed wireless technology, which simply lowers the latency between the mouse and the actual wireless dongle, And it does come with a wireless range extender, which a lot of wireless mice are doing nowadays. So if for whatever reason you're using your mouse a little bit further away from your PC tower, you can just plug the power cord into here, and that will extend the range on this just a bit. Just a little bit more about this mouse before we get into the software. This does have a polling rate of 1000 hertz, and it has a battery life of roughly 70 hours. So you're getting plenty of battery life there. For most people, you're gonna get probably about a week, maybe 2 out of this battery. So just plug this in for about an hour or so once every week or two, and you should be good to go on battery life. This mouse does use their Logitech G Hub software, and once you open it up, this is what you're gonna be presented with. You can see here all of your Logitech devices, and if you click on the Pro X Superlight, this is what you have to work with. Now there's no RGB function on this mouse, so that makes it a little bit simpler, but you can come in here and there is a variety of commands that you can switch. You can come in here and actually drag a command to one of these buttons, so you can kind of customize what those buttons do here. You can click on actions, and for certain programs that you have installed on your computer, if they're compatible, they can show up here and you can actually do different things through your mouse. So let's say I want to capture video. I can actually drag capture video to one of my side mouse buttons so that I can control some OBS functions here. Or if you want to mute yourself, if you're streaming or something like that, you can actually drag this to your back side button, and by clicking that you can mute your Discord while you talk to your stream or something like that. So this is kind of an interesting tab as well. Of course, you have your macros that you can assign to whatever button you need to. And then under system, you can again drag these and you can use it to adjust your DPI settings. You can assign them to use copy and paste functions. It's really a lot of stuff. I don't envision most people using this or assigning different buttons here, at least not through your macros. Obviously in game, you can use these to throw a grenade or throw a flashbang or something like that, assign game functions, but for most people, you're probably not gonna be using these side buttons to adjust your DPI settings or mute yourself in Discord or something, but it is available if that's something that you want to do. And then of course over here on the side, you can adjust your DPI settings. You can change your polling rate down here. Most people are probably gonna wanna leave that at 1000. And then you can adjust your DPI settings here and you can customize these. So if you don't want steps of like 4, 8, 1600, let's say I'd rather have maybe 4, 8, and then 1200 and 2400, you can just change those colors accordingly to adjust your DPI settings. And then again, with this new sensor, it does go all the way up to 25,600 now. One other thing I forgot to mention is you can come up here and you can change your profile. So obviously default desktop profile is where I'm at, but you can set different profiles for different games, and this automatically detects what games you have already installed on your PC that are compatible, and any compatible games will show up here and you can select one and then change the defaults for those games, so that if you want to use different controls for the side buttons or different DPI settings for different games, you can just come in here and select whatever profile you prefer. And that pretty much wraps up the review, guys. The question remains, do I recommend this mouse? And I'm kind of torn because it is a good mouse, and I think that if you bought this mouse, you would be very satisfied with it. I don't think you would regret your decision. But ultimately, this mouse is $150, which makes it one of the most expensive lightweight mice on the market. And while it is pretty well built and it performs pretty well, I just don't think I can reasonably recommend this mouse at $150. If you bought this mouse, would you be happy and satisfied with it? Yes. Would you feel like you wasted your money on it? Not necessarily, but there's so much competition right now with lightweight mice that I really feel like this is a good bit overpriced. You can get something like the Razer Viper Ultimate, which is $20 cheaper and has similar performance, but in my opinion is a little bit better built. It just feels a little bit more solid. It is a little bit heavier, but it's also a much more solid mouse and has a little bit better of a design in my opinion. It has grips on the side. The buttons feel a lot better to click. It has a lot of similar specifications to this mouse here, and it's $20 cheaper. Or you can go with something like the Glorious Model O Wireless, which right now is my favorite lightweight wireless mouse. And this has a little bit more of a bold design, better, more tactile buttons, is still a great performing mouse. only a few grams heavier, about 6 grams heavier than this mouse, but it's also half the price. You could buy two of these, one for you, one for your friend. You could buy it in two different colors for the price of this mouse. And to be honest with you, I feel like this one might even be a little bit more well built. And there's other lightweight wireless mice on the market that are significantly cheaper than this, with similar weight savings, form factors, specifications, as good, if not better, build quality. So I feel like they really came in at a poor price point. Again, I don't want to make it sound like I don't like this mouse, because I do. It's a good performer, it feels good, works with different kinds of grip styles. The technology and specifications are there. It's just, I mean, this mouse is probably at least $50 overpriced in my opinion. So if you have other Logitech G products and you're trying to match everything up, or if you just really like the simplistic design of this mouse, you won't be disappointed if you pick it up. But if you're in the market for a new lightweight wireless mouse, then I would suggest doing your research and seeing if you do want this mouse, or if you would prefer to go with something just as good but significantly cheaper. And that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this review and found it useful. If you did, make sure to drop a like on this video. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe if you want to see other content like this. I'll leave all of my socials in the description down below, but if you want a one-stop shop for everything, make sure you join the Discord server. You'll be notified when I post new videos, when I go live on Twitch, when I'm hosting any giveaways, or you can just chat and hang out. Thanks for watching, YouTube. We'll catch you later.